TotallyS.D is the dominance representation of the total crypto market cap excluding stablecoins. And I know that sounds like a snooze fest of a title, but you're going to want to pay attention to everything I share with you in this video, because this is the best expression or representation of where crypto is right now and where it's going to be heading next. I'm going to be talking about a lot of stuff in this video, so make sure that you carve out some time. You lock in, get a pad of paper, get a pencil out. Yes, actually handwrite down some notes as I share, because you're going to want to pay attention. Now, this chart is extremely useful in helping us to gauge the bullish or bearish sentiment of the crypto market. Now, it is a fairly new chart. The last time that we saw things go really crazy was back over here in 2015, whatever. But in terms of the chart being publicly accessible, the TotallyS.D is not very old. It's actually very, very, very new. And it's much more valid when we take into consideration everywhere from November 2021, the last top, until where we are now. What's been really helpful about this chart, namely, is identifying the tops and the drops. Now, the last cycle, we saw a couple of things take shape with this chart, which are happening right now. For starters, we're on the weekly time frame for TotallyS.D. You see these guys right here, these yellow dots? These are TBO breakdowns. They tell us to prepare for bearish, explosive downside moves. And we certainly saw that back in March 2022, where the TotallyS.D chart fell 11%. Now, 11% sounds like nothing. Remember, this is a dominance chart. So if this dominance chart is dumping that hard, understand that this is a crazy drop. And it's exactly what happened for Bitcoin and everything else. It's a massive, massive drop from 93% all the way down to 82%, meaning that the total crypto market cap, excluding stablecoins, dropped from 93% dominance down to 82% dominance. But more importantly, look what happened back over here. After we got a nice little bounce in August up to this pink line right here, not just once, not twice, 3 times a lady. That's right. And going lower. And also seeing a lot of these green triangles down here as well. What's the big deal? Well, the big deal is that that same thing is happening again. TBO breakdowns on the weekly time frame, a big drop from 90% dominance down here to 86% dominance. And now we've seen a recovery, a move back up into this cloud to that pink line and TBT bullish divergence, that green triangle. The similarities are striking. Right over here in July is basically where we are here. Now, the only thing that's a little bit conflicting with what's happened here on the chart and where I think we're going is that I don't think we've bottomed out still. I still think we're going to see TotallyS.D actually go below this line here of 86.22%, which is weekly support. Now, if we repeat this move exactly like we saw back over here in August 2022, we should be seeing a considerable drop over the next several weeks. Last time we fell down 3%. A 3% move over here would put us, 3.36% would put us back down to the panicked lows that we saw the first week of February, where everything was dumping and crashing a lot lower. The other interesting thing is that whenever we've seen very oversold charts like this on the weekly time frame, namely for TotallyS.D, going up to tag that pink line, it's a sell the news, sell the bounce move. Back over here, March 2022, and then it fell. Again here, August 2022, and then it fell. Over here, October 2022 into November, and it fell. We're witnessing that same phenomenon again. Actually, it already happened. Back over here, you can see this wick right up to that line. This is January 2026 before it dumped, and here we are today. I am still of the belief that we're going a lot lower. And it's not just the TotallyS chart that's showing this. It's actually RSI that we're near a pivot high moment. If we were just to blur our eyes a little bit, we're looking at resistance, putting in a very top E move right here on the weekly time frame up to 64.82. There's a really good chance that we see a pullback lower down here towards 25, maybe even lower than that. But the bigger news isn't on RSI. The bigger news is actually on the opposite chart. So note the percentage here, 89%. If we combine USDT plus USDC dominance, it's basically at 10%. So 89% plus 10% gives us 99%. Close enough. That's close enough to basically equate everything between these two. Now, what's really interesting about this chart specifically, and yes, you could do the stable.c.d chart. That's totally fine too. This will show you all crypto stablecoins combined as a dominance level, but honestly, the other ones are just too small in terms of their market cap to really make a difference, in my opinion. The stablecoin combined chart has shown us a couple of things. We saw a pullback here in January after the market got pretty scared from our October dumped all the way, or rather this chart pumped into November where Bitcoin dumped to, and then we saw a little bit of a recovery till it pushed up a lot higher. And you can imagine where this big wick is right here. It's that same inverted week over here in TotallyS.D. So we're actually seeing the bullish equivalent of this TotallyS.D chart, which looks bearish, but we're actually seeing the bullish bounce happening here on USDT plus USDC dominance. The crazy thing about this chart is that, again, I don't think that we've topped out yet, or rather bottomed out for crypto. The main level that I've been keeping an eye on for a long time is right here, 13%. Once the stablecoin dominance percentage gets up to about 13%, which is quite a move from where we are right now, that's going to be the trigger that I'll be pulling to start accumulating alts. Namely, a lot of the alts that I've shared in previous videos here on the Coin Bureau podcast channel, mostly in the AI sector for lots of good reasons. In order for combined stablecoin dominance to move up to 13%, that's a 30% increase. That is no small feat. That is a big, big deal. What's really interesting is, again, if we go back in time over here to 2022 in the previous bear market, we can actually see the same thing happening. Really big push, uptrend back into the cloud right there. And it pushes up one more time, goes into the cloud, pushes up again, pushes up again. I don't think that we're done yet. Whereas a lot of the overconfident bulls think that, oh, the bottom's in, that's it, everything's game over, we're going to go higher. The other thing that's really convincing about this weekly chart as well for combined stablecoin dominance is this line. So we're looking at relative strength index with a length of 7 on the weekly chart for combined stablecoin dominance. The most compelling reason why I think we're actually going to see a bounce on this chart, which is a pullback in in the TotallyS.D chart in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, you name it, everything, is because of this. Now, yes, technically this support level was pierced, meaning that the close went below here, but don't worry, this happened several times back over here. We can see a pierce of it back on November 2021 for this combined stablecoin dominance, and then it rocketed up higher, where we saw a pretty big drop until January 2022, where we saw a rally that ended in March and April. And then we saw a cut of this support line, and it shot up a whole lot higher, finally having our first bottoming out in June. Right here is honestly where we are right now. It's pretty compelling. The reality is that stablecoin dominance, if it bounces from here and it starts moving up higher, there's a specific level that you're going to want to be watching out for. And you're going to be wanting to watch out for the top of this cloud right here, which is like 10.67%. My expectation is that we're going to see combined stablecoin dominance go up above that level and pushing up higher and higher. The central theme and concept of crypto that a lot of people forget is very simply exemplified back over here in late 2025, early 2026. Where we saw the market kind of sort of holding up. Things are feeling kind of good. kind of okay. And then it just takes one little bit of a drop to cause a little bit of fear. And everyone goes, no, everything's fine, until it really starts to plummet. A really good phrase to keep in mind over the next weeks to come is this: escalator up, elevator down. This happens all the time in crypto. And these dominance charts are no different. If we look at TotallyS.D, it's been a nice, gentle escalator up. And isn't it interesting to see back over here, we had a nice elevator down move back on the 16th and 17th of March. Now, in terms of this chart, TotallyS.D, the main target you're going to want to be watching out for in the very short term is the fast line at 88.79%. That's the first level to watch. But the real one that matters a lot, that changes everything if it goes below here, is the bottom of the cloud at 88.28. That's the level right there. And honestly, that is a huge drop from where we are. A 0.86% drop doesn't sound like a lot. It is a big move for TotallyS.D. If we see a big drop down there, most likely it's not going to be the first drop. It's going to be, or first and last drop. It's going to be the first one, and then we go a little bit lower, a little bit lower, a little bit lower, and we start heading down to some of those lows that I've shared before, with my expectation to see Bitcoin going a lot lower, like down to my next target of not just 60K, but 49K, and then $38,555. If Bitcoin were to fall down that far, and remember, we're only looking at like a 13% drop on TotallyS.D, but going down all the way to 38,555 would be a 52% drop from the current price. Even down to just 60K is a 26% drop, or here to 49K is a 39% drop. These moves are totally possible with a very complacent, very arrogantly bullish market right now. If you've noticed, a lot of the sentiment around crypto, there's no middle ground ever. Usually, bulls are very loud and annoying, and they will not stop bull posting no matter what. And it's okay, because that's their job. Bears will be stubborn, and they will be going, well, okay, I guess I was wrong. And lots of bears recently have been throwing in the towel, which is really interesting. People that were posting a lot on X, on my feed at least, were saying all these things that, oh yeah, we're going to have a reversal here soon. And then they've decided to just throw in the towel and just go with the flow. That's concerning to me, to see people get caught up in the FOMO and in the short-term price movement, whereas the market is still not settled. It hasn't bottomed yet, at least in my opinion. I still expect Bitcoin to ultimately bottom out in October. And I also expect Bitcoin to fall a lot lower in this month of May and even into June. I actually have a margin of error that allows Bitcoin to go up higher, even if it's going to, which I don't expect it to at all. But even if it were to, it's really going to take a lot more to change my mind for the bearish outcome of my bearish thesis to be broken and invalidated. Now, I'm just a guy, again, my moniker is Moon and Papa, so you have to understand that I actually like it when markets and prices go up. It's just 1/4 of the time, I'm not really of that bias. And that's during a bottom year, a bear market, which we're in 2026, just like we were in 2022, just like we were in 2018, just like we were in 2014. I don't think anything has changed or magically shifted. I don't think that this time is different. I don't care about super cycle. I don't care about Michael Saylor or Tom Lee, all those. I don't care about the Clarity Act either. It doesn't mean anything. Well, it does, but it's not a very positive thing for crypto ultimately. You have to make your own decisions. And I'm just presenting the evidence and what I think is most likely going to be happening next. If you're of the bullish sentiment, you have to kind of step back and evaluate. Things are a little bit frothy right now, like really arrogant, really annoying, really loud. Isn't it kind of weird how things are just getting really, really, really bullish all of a sudden, where we've had this massive drawdown? It's almost like everyone just forgot what happened in November. We're also at an incredible pivot point in terms of stablecoin dominance combined on the weekly time frame for RSI, where we should be seeing a big spike up. I'm going to be honest with you that being a bear for a year, it's not fun. It's really not. I don't advise it. I don't advise starting a YouTube channel and just sharing bearish stuff all the time because no one really likes it. And it gets really annoying to say it over and over. But the truth does hurt. And the truth being the truth doesn't invalidate the truth. Is that actually a saying? Could I actually say that? No, I'm not going to say that. The point being, the truth doesn't really care about your feelings. It's just the truth, and it's going to be there. And the truth is that we're seeing a lot of very clear signs of a pivot high forming right here. And I'm taking a short position on multiple charts, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Zcash, and others that are way too high, way too bullish, way too frothy, where it seems more likely for us to see a reversal rather than a continuation up here, given the fact that we've seen a pretty good rally, but May and June are historically pretty bad. I made mention of that a couple of times. I want you to watch this video that I shared recently that talks about why I think things are going to be bearish for the next couple of months, next couple of weeks at least. So you're going to want to watch this next. And until the next time, you know what to do, stay awesome and stay in the green. Peace.